to What the Hell. This episode is going to be about hashtag Save the Children. Basically, what they're talking about, or talking about on this, is all the happenings, especially with the Maxwell case with Jeffrey Epstein, and a lot of the connections on it that the conspiracy theorists are saying on there is all these people are dying in connection with the pedophile ring with Jeffrey Epstein. Mostly they're saying it's the Clintons, but in all reality, it is very weird that a judge's family gets shot by a guy dressed up as a FedEx driver, and a banker that worked on the Epstein's account ends up hanging himself. And we hear blips of it, but we don't hear a lot about it. They did the Epstein's thing for like a minute. There was a documentary about it on Netflix, and there's several other documentaries about this, and a lot of people are going after it's like, what's being done with this, especially since Epstein died. A lot of people are still wondering what's going on with it, because they found all of his books, everything they needed to prosecute him on that case. So, and right now we're still waiting on Maxwell's testimony on it, and we don't know if she's gonna be suicided.
I wouldn't be surprised.
No, because it's just really heart-wrenching that he had an island. He was even caught in Florida with pedophilia, and he was just basically on house arrest. I mean, I wish I had that kind of pull with my officials to where I could get away with anything. Not that's disgusting. Like if someone irked me, I'd just punch them in the face.
Yeah.
Or get rid of the undesirable pedophiles. I even thought of a business plan, is because you can find an island for like $500 and have them have all the pedophiles on the island, and you set it up to where they have a GoFundMe page to where people can donate for the family to go to this island and international waters. I'm not saying anything bad would happen to these people. I'm just saying they would have a good talking to.
Didn't they make a movie about something like that? I believe it was called Hostel.
Yeah.
Same premise.
Yeah.
Only now they're not innocent.
Yeah. Well, as I was doing research for this, I found out a lot of stuff, especially looking up on Facebook. People are saying, it's like, oh, the LGBT community is trying to protect these. And I found an article and a couple of articles about that. And what basically they were saying on that was, we do not support this. We haven't. They tried to get protective status because pedophilia should be protected, and lots of places in California are actually teaching it as a sexual orientation in their elementary.
No.
Yeah, no.
That's all I'm going to say on that. No.
It's pretty bad when my daughter, 14-year-old, goes, why would anybody support that?
Yeah, no.
And
I've
even
got a 9-year-old little girl. If I ever found out that an adult was sexually pursuing my 9-year-old,
you would have a talk with that person, and hopefully the judges would do something about that. That's what we're saying, Jason.
This is going on the internet, right?
Yeah.
Okay, no, that's not at all what I would do. I would kill him.
Yeah, everybody would do that.
And probably his family after that.
Yeah.
Just to set an example.
I wouldn't do family. Well, sometimes you gotta wipe out the
I would not. No. Scorched earth to anybody that would ever try to hurt my little girl.
Are we at the 30-second mark?
Do what?
Are we at the 30-second mark?
Oh, that whole you
Yeah.
can't use profanity until 30 seconds?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
I'm actually doing pretty well at this point.
yeah,
Especially on this topic. This is kind of a hot button.
yeah. Well, I did a lot of research. One thing I thought was interesting, and coming from all the news media about Clinton on the Epstein Island, the pedo island, I found this. It's a new bill that's that was introduced in Congress on is that July? Yeah, July 17, 2019. And the bill this bill prohibits a federal employees from receiving federal retirement benefits if the employee has been convicted of certain crimes related to sexual abuse of children. Which in my opinion, that's a Band-Aid, but it would stop it would basically saying we're gonna the federal government is stop funding acts on children, which
I don't see that as a real deterrent for.
It really isn't. It really isn't, because
they're predators.
Yeah,
they're gonna do this and try not to get caught.
Yeah,
I can't think of, but if you're deranged enough to where you honestly believe in your heart of hearts that it's okay to do this kind of stuff to a child, the only thought that's going to go through that head in my mind's eye would be something to the effect of, man, I really want to date that 13-year-old, but I don't want to lose my retirement benefits. Okay, I'll just convince her that she can't tell anybody, or I'll convince him that he can't tell anybody.
Well,
or whatever the orientation therein might be.
Yeah. Well, like I said, the government likes to put Band-Aids on stuff, like funding people during this crisis, because hey, we'll give you a little bit of cash. Hopefully, it'll keep the economy going. No, it's actually going to start ruining the economy. It's just ridiculous on that, but we're not going on that topic. And another thing I looked at is there is a massive exodus of they found this was
massive online pedophile ring busted by cops. What
Yeah.
is this at? 5 Americans.
Actually, this was
5 Americans among 164 people arrested, 230 abused children taken to safety.
Yeah,
Holy
it was
cow.
Operation Rescue, and it was worldwide.
Damn,
Yeah,
that's good stuff.
yeah, it is. And all reality, when it comes to pedophilia, most criminals will do. There is a guy in when I was working corrections, they beat this guy retarded. I'm not being, they really just beat him so bad, and he's just saying they beat him retarded. No, they beat him to the point where he was mentally challenged after that. And
They gave him Dane Bramage.
they gave him a lot of Dane Bramage. And another thing,
I'm sorry, I'm just trying to imagine the interview with the police after that, where they just kind of look like a mafia mobster at that point, and you go, he fell.
yeah, he fell on a knife 16 times.
Yeah. He committed suicide by stabbing himself in the back 142 times.
Yeah. But another thing is Ashton Kutcher is one of those people. That and his ex-wife Demi Moore. They do this charity group to help stop online child sex
trafficking.
Yeah. And well, the numbers from what I was reading off on the numbers they said they saved like 6,000 people, but they only reported on 107. They work with the FBI and ICE.
So the headline I'm looking at here says Ashton Kutcher helped promote a bogus sex trafficking something or other. So what was he not really helping? But like I've seen videos of him where he is, where
Yeah.
it looks like he's really doing something about it.
Well, he even went to Congress.
Yeah, I've heard
about
him
it.
talk on it. He seemed really passionate about it.
No, it's just a YouTube video.
That's a YouTube video.
Yeah. Yeah. And that foundation is Thorn,
Thorn, yeah.
and they use facial recognition on trying to find sex traffickers.
Well, I remember you and I were talking about earlier when I was still in the military. Anytime we would deploy over to Thailand, a big pastime out there is called sex tourism.
Yeah.
Where I don't know about other nations, but it's been pretty popular for Americans to go on vacation in Thailand so that they could pick up child prostitutes and do whatever it is that they want to do to them. But when we were out there, part of our safety briefing was because prostitution there is legal. Like if you are in an area where you see someone that you suspect is being held against their will or abusing children, you are not in any way, shape, form, or fashion to try to intervene. You are to come directly back to the ship and report it immediately. But we don't know that area.
Yeah.
So when we go back and we report it, what do we do? Oh, yeah, I saw this kid that was chained to a sink. Who are we going to tell that to? We tell it to the petty officer of the watch or the officer of the deck, and then what are they going to do about it? Oh, okay, I'll write it down in my logbook, and I'll let the NCIS officer know, because we only had one on the ship, and, you know, but he's not on the ship right now. He'll be back in about a week because he's out with the captain or the admiral. What the hell are they going to do about it?
Yeah.
Well, then it's like the expression "too little, too fucking late" comes to mind.
Yeah. And that goes on with the other subject of the U.S. soldier, Green Beret. He was having troubles with dealing with
The rampant sexual abuse of children
Yeah.
by Afghan police officers and soldiers.
yeah, and he didn't know what to do with it.
Now, was this taking place on U.S. military installations?
Well,
Or
from
was
the
this
article
on,
is
or was
saying
this on their own installations?
Well, on this is
Because all it says there is on the base. It doesn't specify.
no,
whether
it
or
says
not.
on U.S. military base.
If that was happening on board a U.S. military installation and active duty service members were being told to turn a blind eye to it, then that entire chain of command needs to be strung up by the short hairs.
Not even when the Afghans allies have abused boys on military bases. Well, it just says military bases.
Yeah, so it's not specifying.
Which military bases that's on.
Yeah.
And if that was happening on our bases, God help.
Now, I spent a lot of time in my career with Marines. I don't know a single Marine that I've ever worked with that would be okay with that.
I don't
They,
believe anybody.
being ordered by your superior. Like, I can't even imagine any Marine officer or senior enlistee that I've ever met uttering something like that to another Marine. If anything, the entire chain of command would be willing to go to NJP or Captain's Mast for intervening.
Yeah.
It would be totally worth it to them, to any Marine that I know. It would be totally worth it to me as a sailor. I'm sure it'd be worth it to you as an airman or anybody that we know that wears a uniform.
Yeah.
So I mean, my heart goes out to that kid, and he ultimately got killed, didn't he?
Yeah, he was shot to death at the base. His
Yeah.
son telling him before he was shot to death at the base in 2012. But even my orientation, when I was at the base I was at, the psych doctor came in and said, "Hey, we'll help you with everything we can possibly handle with you." But in hindsight, if anything happens to children or anything like that, I'm not one of those people to talk to, and I would fuck you up. And I was hands down like,
Well,
I can understand that.
even my the co-host of my show, Michael Arya, knock it off. The co-host of my show, he and I were talking about it before. He said that from his observation, women are for reproduction and little boys are for entertainment to not to all Afghanis, but to the ones that he was in the field with.
Well, yeah, they even said that on here. Bachi Bazi was literally boy play in their native language. So it's intersected into their culture, which is sad.
Arya, knock it off.
Which is really sad, and we don't forcefully put in as a culture like, oh, we're just trying to fix it to where they don't go after people and everything. Like, no, maybe we should try a better way on teaching certain things, because I also know a thing to where a ranger was telling a story about he was going door to door searching for somebody in Afghanistan, and what had happened was he found a mentally challenged person chained to a bed. Whole room was just stink of feces and everything.
I heard about that. Yeah.
And it's just,
Here's the problem, though. It's culture.
yeah.
That culture has. This is the way that it was put to me by, not by an Afghani. I think I was talking to an Iraqi about this while I was out there. The observation or the statement that was made to me by this particular person basically said, our culture, our civilization has been around for 2,000 years, whereas your civilization has only been around for about 200. He says, you don't get to come and tell our civilization how to live until your civilization has been around as long as ours has. And I understand that logic. I don't like it, I don't agree with it, but I understand it.
Well, yeah, they still have slavery.
At that point, how do you argue it?
Yeah.
Because it's culture.
Yeah.
Good and evil is always a point of view.
Yeah. Well,
Doesn't
they
matter
still
what
have,
side
they
of the
still
war
have
you're on.
slavery in that country, and they're supposed to be more civilized.
Right. We know, like, I don't like it. You don't like it. They're okay with it. That's what their culture.
Yeah.
It's been that way forever. And for them, from their perspective, oh, this works. Why change?
Yeah. And the only thing I can think of there's so much that people don't understand, and people are in our country, it's like, oh, this country sucks. It's like, no, go to a place where like Syria, go to a place like Iraq, especially in Afghanistan, Nigeria. Most of Africa is still backwatered. I mean, there's still places in Africa, they still believe that, hey, the reasoning why that person died is because that person over there cursed him. He was using voodoo to destroy that person, give that person cancer. Wait a minute, what? And that was in courts of law. Ugh, just. I hate to go down.
I hate to
shine down on a person like that. But
I don't want to defend them. However, we kind of do the same thing in this country with regard to no matter what happens, it's God's fault. Someone dies of cancer. It's God's will. Someone recovers from cancer. God works in mysterious ways.
Yeah, we do that. I don't. And most people that actually, there are some people that are intelligent people that do believe in faith, and they still, it's like, Ben Shapiro even said it. He's like, on Joe Rogan one time, actually it was just past 2 weeks ago, and he was like, yeah, I know, I'm heavily into Judaism, and there's certain things I'm just like, it just doesn't make sense
Yeah.
logically, but
That's a conversation for another time.
yeah, but
Short of the long is pedophilia bad and good.
yeah, and most of the time when they get into prison, they are just, they're treated so horribly. It's actually, it really is a punishment to put them in a prison. And most pedophiles feel that they are being treated badly because it's their sexual orientation. It's like, no. I feel for you, but
I have no
deep
sympathy
down, that
for you.
it's really non-existent.
I have no sympathy for them. They want sympathy, it's in the dictionary, somewhere between shit and syphilis.
Yeah. Hell, there was one guy that was at our unit, and luckily I wasn't on shift at the time. What had happened was, they went up, they did their rounds, and they came back down, and one of the inmates was talking to another inmate that was in there because his original crime was not paying a ticket. And he ended up going to just a regular jail. And then what had happened was a pedophile was talking how he did, he was basically praising himself because of what he did to his child. And that guy that...
He was bragging about
Yeah.
abusing a child?
Oh, dude, they're stupid sometimes. But he was bragging to this guy that was just in jail for a parking ticket. That guy that was in jail just for a parking ticket killed that guy. Murder is still murder even if it's in jail, and it's a pedophile. Well, he ends up going to our unit. We didn't look at the roster right.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't say, it's like, we're not supposed to look at the criminal history, we're just supposed to do our job.
Right.
Well, he was put in another jail cell with a pedophile, and that pedophile that he was in jail with did the same thing. He was bragged about his pedophilia crimes. And that guy ended up choking to death on a hot pot. The guy grabbed the cord of the hot pot and just choked him to death with that, and he's basically telling us like, hey, I killed that guy.
Some heroes don't wear capes.
I know. But it's just ridiculous. Is it a bad crime? In my opinion, no. And I might get, this probably won't even, this probably get so flagged on face on everything. It's like, oh no. This should be taken off and everything. He's saying that we should hurt people that are pedophiles. I was like, yeah, you should. Because I just hate them so much. I'm just uncomfortable with words because I want to play nice on my channel, but on something like this, no, I can't play nice. It's one of those things. If anything happened to my daughter or your daughter or any kid, I don't give a shit whose kid it is.
It's hard.
I don't care about which color. I don't care about race or anything at that point in time. All I see is this douchebag is literally doing something wrong and needs to be taken care of.
He's hurting a kid.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to say anything one way or the other. Because historically, my go-to for conflict resolution has been violence. So I prefer to just kind of keep my own thoughts as to what should we do with a pedophile. I should probably just keep those thoughts to myself.
Yeah.
I can tell you that those thoughts I'm having, they're not nice.
I have nice thoughts with that. But it's, and people are saying, will probably say it's like, well, once they get in prison, the guards don't really care. We have to make judgment calls if we want to get still get paid. If we want to get paid, we have to deal with this stuff. And my first day that I had to go in by myself and toss a cell, it was literally a pedophile cell, and I'm talking about stacks of. The website was.
Probably shouldn't
Laughing.
don't say the name of the website.
Yeah.
You don't want to promote that.
Yeah. Anyways, it was a pedophile website, and I had stacks of just kids, and I took it up to the front desk. I was like, "Hey, listen, I'm gonna throw this away." And he's like, "No, you gotta put it back." I'm like, "No, fuck that shit. I'm not putting that shit back. It's getting thrown away." He's like, "Are the children nude?" No, some of them have clothes. Most of them have clothes on. It's like the ones that don't have clothes, you can take those out. But in all reality, it's his property. You can't do anything with it. I was like,
Isn't it against the law to have
it's not against
child
the law.
pornography?
The definition of pornography is limited on the laws. If they are clothed, if they look like they are in enjoyment, it's really weird. Really, really weird. And you just have to bite your tongue and go, I need this job, I'll find a new one after a while.
Alright, knock it off.
But
Leo.
it's like even in New Mexico right now, the laws are being loosened for child pedophiles. And the laws are being loosened in Democratic states, California, New York. They're tightening on a lot of it. I think the one for California that they're trying to pass is one that says if the child basically wanted it, if it wasn't considered a rape, then it's not considered a sex crime. And I'm sorry.
I disagree with the child wanted it. It's a child. How the hell would that child know what they want? That those thoughts have to be planted there.
Oh yeah, it's
no child wakes up. No 9-year-old gets up and goes, you know what? I want to have sex with an adult. I want to have sex with that 30 or 40-year-old man. That's not it. Or woman.
Yeah.
I was 9 years old. That thought never. I didn't even start thinking about girls until what? 14, 15.
Oh, 12. But
Yeah, it's just.
but still,
Ugh.
no.
I don't know. Maybe it's just it's a new generation.
No, it's people trying to get stuff passed to protect themselves, especially right now when all that stuff is happening, to the point where people are getting named, are going to be getting named, and a lot of them are people in power, like Clinton, who was notorious, and there's photos of it and everything, and no one's saying anything about, except for people on social media.
Oh, you mean the people that are committing suicide?
Yeah. The people that accidentally fall on a rock in the middle of a street on a highway,
Yeah.
going like 45 miles. They just end up getting chunked by two guys. Not getting chunked by two guys. They jump off that bridge.
Ah.
Or their brakes just suddenly failed after they went to get their car fixed, and the mechanic forgot to fix the brakes. That happens too.
So what's the takeaway here?
Take away pedophile bad, beat them up, take away their money, give it to charities to support children.
Right. For me, the takeaway would be don't turn a blind eye.
Yeah.
If you see something and something just doesn't seem right, say something.
Yeah. And
This is one of those cases where you don't want to be the person with the secret.
Yeah.
Because
Even kids out there, if something happens to you, tell a responsible adult. And hopefully that person isn't part of the problem.
indeed.
Yeah. So, I guess that's the end of this episode. Can't go longer on this one because I just get so fed up.
Yeah, this is a hot button topic that's definitely gonna
Scare
make some people angry.
Yeah.
But I would be interested to see the comments you get.
I probably won't even keep in comments. But look us up on Facebook, Angry Meme Production. I'm always on there. I'll post a couple of funny photos and everything. Message me if you want to talk. I really have nothing right now. Twitter, Instagram, all those, you can get me on those. And I'm David Dickerman.
I'm Jay.
That's Jay. And this is What the Hell, #SaveTheChildren.